everybody, I am Jay Shady. You're listening to the Voice of Reason. So it's time for a little Raw review. And if you're looking for some ranting, some negativity, some yelling, some screaming, you're going to have to go to another channel. Go to one of those channels that just bitches and moans and yells and rants over every little fucking thing the WWE does, whether it's good or bad, just to rant. You're going to have to go to there if you want to rant, because this is going to be a full-on positive review of WWE Raw. When I get a great, fantastic fucking show, what can I possibly rant about? Seriously, what on this show is there to rant about? This was awesome. This was fantastic, epic, just as good as a fucking Raw show I could demand. And that's how it's been with these post WrestleMania Raw shows. These night after WrestleMania Raw shows have just become a monster of their own. They've become a phenomenon of their own, where they're either as good as WrestleMania or even better sometimes. Let's look at last year compared to WrestleMania 29. The Raw after was much better. But this Raw did not disappoint. The crowd, New Orleans, did not disappoint. Just a fantastic show. Fantastic from top to bottom. As my title says, all killer, no filler at all. Maybe a filler thing with Santino, but that's about it. But, you see, if you cannot like this Raw, if you're finding a way to bitch about this Raw, then, just jump off of a fucking high fucking building, because you're done. You just cannot enjoy anything as a wrestling fan anymore. Just give up, stop watching, because this was as fantastic as you're possibly going to get. And the great thing about this Raw is that it made WrestleMania, looking back on it, I've only seen WrestleMania one time. I'm not a nut job that's going to watch WrestleMania 5 times in a row. So I've only seen, WrestleMania 30 once when it was live. But after watching this show, the things that happened in the show made you realize that the WrestleMania was even better because of, this Raw played into it. The WrestleMania built up to this. It's following stuff from this. It wasn't just, a bunch of matches and they're done, bada bing, bada boom, all for nothing. It paved the way for future things happening, and, it really, and that means a lot, and now, when you look at WrestleMania 30, what's great about it is it's very, not for the match quality wise, but, like WrestleMania 17, that's one of the best WrestleManias of all time, maybe the best WrestleMania of all time because of all the great match quality. But I have no doubt that this WrestleMania 30 will go down as one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time. Not for the match quality, but for what it proposed, what it pushed, the moments, and what it paved the way for, and what it led up to. And we're going to get into that with this Raw review. It is a paveway for the future of the company. It is a big, important WrestleMania. And that's what I like about this Raw. It really paves the road for what's going to happen in the future. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, a few years from now, going back on WrestleMania 30, and instead of giving an 8 rating, bumping that motherfucker up to an 8.5 or a 9. It's definitely, possible, depending on what road WWE decides to go down, if they decide to, follow up on WrestleMania 30. But let's get into this Raw review. It opens up with Daniel Bryan, as it should. The biggest thing of the night last night, besides Undertaker's streak, but you don't want to end up, start off Raw on kind of a somber note. Bring out Daniel Bryan, and the crowd was fucking insane for Daniel Bryan, as you would expect. Every single person, there wasn't one person that wasn't chanting yes, chanting Daniel Bryan. Just a great fucking moment. They were chanting for 2 minutes before he even said a word. Just an epic fucking moment, the culmination of this long journey that Daniel Bryan and Daniel Bryan's fans and WWE fans have been through to get to this, to finally get what they want, to tell WWE to stop shoving stuff down our throats, stop making us have to settle for what you want and give us what we fucking want. Great moment. Fans chanting, you deserve it, you deserve it. Great, great. And Daniel Bryan cuts a good promo, says the truth that, yes, I deserve it, but you deserve it too. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. This was us. This was a movement with all of us, not just me. Great stuff. Then Triple H comes out. Triple H's music hits. cuts a great heel promo, goes totally fucking berserk on Daniel Bryan, saying, "I hope you enjoyed your moment, but it's time for you to stop, for the fans to shut up, because this is all over." And he says that, "Enjoy your little title run, because it's not going to last through the night. You're going to defend your title in the main event tonight against me." So Daniel Bryan versus Triple H, main event of Raw for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And, how could you kick off Raw in a better way? Great promo from Daniel Bryan. Great promo from Triple H. And I didn't say this last in my WrestleMania review, and I should have. Big fucking kudos to Triple H. It's not a popular thing to appreciate and say positive things about Triple H, but he fucking deserves it. I know it's fun, it's humorous to say, oh, he buries this guy, he buries that guy, he just loves to bury people, but the fact of the matter is that Triple H made Daniel Bryan look like a fucking god last night. He had Daniel Bryan go over himself clean, and then, he looked like fucking Pat Patterson and Joe Briscoe in the main event when Daniel Bryan just beat the shit out of him. He made last night all about Daniel Bryan. So for everybody that, likes to say, oh, Triple H buries every fucking body, big kudos to Triple H for making Daniel Bryan look like a fucking god. Without Triple H, it wouldn't have gone off so great last night. Just gotta say that. Alright, so, great opening segment, and then we get a big fucking match right after. It's the Wyatt family, all three members, versus John Cena, Sheamus, and Big E Langston. This was a really good match. The crowd was crazy behind the fucking Wyatt family. Crazy behind them. And what's great about these crowds? I mean, just look at what they did 2 years ago with Daniel Bryan. Arguably, if it wasn't for that crowd, would Daniel Bryan be where he is right now? Because that crowd really put eyes on Daniel Bryan. And that's what's great about these, loud crowds, these passionate crowds, these heartfelt crowds, is that they influence people at home who to cheer for. So, they did that with Dan Bryan, and, maybe they'll do that here with the Wyatt family, because they were going crazy with the Wyatt family. All of them, especially Bray Wyatt. Very entertaining match. Good stuff. And, Luke Harper is really fucking impressive. I know all the attention goes to Bray Wyatt, but, Luke Harper has some pretty cool fucking moves. Bray Wyatt gets the win with Sister Abigail to Biggie Langston. WWE did a very smart move throughout this whole show, giving the heels who the fans like the victories rather than just going, babyface fucking crazy and, just babyface is winning. Bray Wyatt gets the win. And, crowd is pretty fucking pleased, and I'm pleased. Then you get the only real fucking filler part of the night. Fandango and Summer Rae versus Santino and Emma. This is the 16th fucking time we've gotten this match. Emma makes the Summer Rae tap out. What do you want me to say? Let's move on, because we got a lot bigger and better things to talk about. Next up is Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. And, Paul Heyman, throughout the Undertaker whole fucking feud with Undertaker, Brock Lesnar has cut some pretty boring fucking just generic promos. Very boring. I've went on record saying it many times. All it is Paul Heyman say, hey, Brock Lesnar's going to beat The Undertaker, and that's fucking it. But what a great classic Heyman promo tonight. This is how Paul Heyman cuts promos. Not this stupid lame shit he's been saying for the past month. This is a fucking Paul Heyman promo. Great. Basically started off saying, I told you so to all the fans. And then he talks about what happened backstage. That right after when Undertaker walked out, when he was done with the match, he walked through the curtains, he collapsed. And they had to take him to a hospital, and he almost broke his neck. And if Undertaker didn't kick out, Brock Lesnar would have broken his neck, would have broke his skull, pretty much would have killed him. And he told us that Vince McMahon actually left WrestleMania to drive Undertaker to the hospital. So, pretty classy, nice move on the part of Vince McMahon, a guy who everybody, says is this ruthless, cutthroat business guy. But, pretty classy, generous move from Vince to leave WrestleMania to make sure The Undertaker's alright. And then Paul Heyman is calling everybody whoever faced the Undertaker, a bunch of wannabes. Brock Lesnar is the top guy. He's the one. He's the only one. Nobody else has ever entered the octagon and won all these, achievements and belts and championships. And Brock Lesnar did all that, and basically made Brock Lesnar look like a god. Basically made Brock Lesnar a monster, number one top monster heel with this promo. And I really just hope that Brock Lesnar could just commit a little more. Because if he could, he can be the number one top heel in the company. Because, Paul Heyman cut a hell of a promo, especially after being the Undertaker's streak. The guy's already got a lot of heat on himself. And Paul Heyman just represented Brock Lesnar as a beast. And when you're watching it, you're like, I actually could kind of understand Brock Lesnar being the Undertaker. Because if this was real life, Brock Lesnar is a beast. He is a behemoth. So it makes sense. This is what I mean about how this show made WrestleMania in retrospect even better than it was at the time. Yes, the match still sucked, but now it's got you thinking, if this was all to make Brock Lesnar the number one monster heel, then maybe it's not so fucking bad that he won. So just a great fucking promo. I just hope that Brock Lesnar could actually commit to this. Then you get Tag Team Championship match. You had a backstage segment with Triple H and Randy Orton and Batista, talking about starting to work together to take down Daniel Bryan. And you know what? It would be a pretty cool thing to have, Evolution 2.0, but not where they're I'll get into it later on, not where they're as dominant in Reign of Terror as it was, in the mid 2000s, early to mid 2000s, but, kind of to highlight the new guys, kind of to get their comeuppance all the time, to put over the new guys. Have, Randy Orton and Batista be like the two-man power trip. It would be a pretty cool thing and give them something to do rather than, because what the fuck is Batista going to do? Give him that. It would make sense to go that way. So you get this Tag Team Championship match with Orton and Batista versus the Usos. This isn't a match, and I like this segment a lot. Basically, Batista and Randy Orton just beat the fucking shit out of the Usos. Usos suck anyway, so who the fuck cares? Batista fucking does the Batista bomb to one of the Usos on the steel steps. They both get counted out. Why would they even have a match for the tag team titles? So it wouldn't make sense to actually have a competitive match. So this was the right thing to do. Show that Randy Orton and Batista don't care about these fucking titles. They're just fucking angry. So they tear apart the Usos, and it looks like they're working together as a unit. I like this segment a lot. It opens a lot of opportunities, opens a lot of doors, and this Raw, not only was it great because of the crowd, but and the moments, but because of what this is setting up, what storylines, what directions this is setting the WWE into. Great fucking night, seriously. Then you get another big moment. Rob Van Dam makes his return against Damien Sandow. Good to see Rob Van Dam. A lot of people pointing out he's looking kind of fat, but maybe he could get into shape while he's working. Same was with Edge when he came back at the Royal Rumble. He was pretty fucking out of shape. But good to see Rob Van Dam back. I liked his run a lot. The last run he had where he was putting over people like Dean Ambrose. That was a good run for him. Hopefully he can have another good run here. Beats Damien Sandow in 2 seconds. I don't care because at this point I've just given up on Damien Sandow, so it doesn't bother me. But yeah, I just wonder who Rob Van Dam could feud with at this point. They just need some good, serious mid-card heels. It's either top heels like Batista, Orton, Triple H, or just jobber heels like Damien Sandow and, Miz and, jabronis like that. There's no middle ground with heels right now. It's all jobber heels and top heels. There need to be some fucking mid-card heels. This way Rob Van Dam could work with some people. Now that the Shield are face, who are the mid-card heels? Maybe the Wyatts, but, I don't see the Wyatts feuding with RVD, really. I don't think that makes sense. Then you get Bad News Barrett versus Rey Mysterio, and the crowd was fucking crazy for Bad News Barrett here. I really, really liked, and it's hopeful from this match, the way the WWE is taking now, the way that they're maybe trying to be in touch with their audience, because they have Bad News Barrett beat Rey Mysterio here because the fans are so fucking behind him. Obviously you're having a raucous, rowdy post WrestleMania crowd, and they have Bad News Barrett go over a top guy, even though he's hardly there, but he was a top guy, Rey Mysterio. So a big win for Bad News Barrett, and I like to see that the WWE is actually listening to the fans, and they realize they're in a crowd that is gonna love some of these guys who are heels, and they give the heels the go ahead to win. I like that a lot. Then you get Alexander Rusev versus Zack Ryder squash match. I talked about this Rusev guy on an NXT review, but I'll talk about him again. Really don't fucking like it. I'm not impressed at all. It's just a shitty gimmick. It really is. It's just such a dated fucking gimmick. Everything about him. This Rusev is a complete fucking ripoff of Ivan Drago. It's not even funny. Even on NXT, you had fucking Xavier Woods, who looks just like Apollo Creed, saying that he was gonna face Rusev, and it was gonna be Apollo Creed versus Drago. They're basically saying that he's a complete ripoff of Ivan Drago. The way he talks, the whole, Russian nationality type of thing. Even the manager looks, just like Bridget Nielsen, a blonde woman who speaks for the guy. Bridget Nielsen did that in Rocky IV for Ivan Drago. Lana does that for Alexander Rusev. It's just so fucking dated and cheesy. It's like a 80s big bad Russian villain. Oh, I'm gonna kill and destroy America. It's even his theme song. It sounds like some Cold War type 80s fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger versus the Russians type of movie shit. Don't like it. It feels very fucking dated and just rips way too many fucking things off. So yeah, there's my little Alexander Rusev rant. Then you get the Ultimate Warrior coming out, cuts a promo, and basically just thanks the audience. Shakes the ropes. Doesn't have the face paint, but puts on an Ultimate Warrior mask on instead. Just a good moment to see Ultimate Warrior on Raw. Something you'd never think you'd see in your life. Same as Bret Hart coming back on Raw. Good to see Ultimate Warriors coming back to the WWE. He signed a multi-year deal with the WWE, so he's going to be a presence. Not a wrestler, but, he's going to be a presence like Shawn Michaels is a presence, like Mick Foley's a presence, sometimes on the panel, sometimes, just to appear. Pretty fucking cool stuff. Just great fucking stuff tonight. And then, you get AJ Lee and Tamina Snuka coming out, and, I'm like, oh my god, here we go. The women are here to ruin this show. Bathroom break, snack break, time to just fucking change the channel, but what a fucking moment this was. AJ Lee comes out, she's cutting a promo talking about how she's the 295-day title reigning champion, that nobody could beat her. 13 other divas tried to beat her last night, but she won. And I loved the CM Punk references she was making. That's what I like about, these rowdy crowds, these post-WrestleMania crowds, is that they're so loud that the superstars and the WWE people have no choice but to respond. They realize there's all these CM Punk chants, so AJ Lee starts referencing, hard for me to say, CM Punk. She calls herself the best in the world. She calls herself the savior, just like CM Punk, and the fans were eating it up. I really like when the WWE decides to do that, because usually they just ignore everything the fans say. Because that's what happens. When you have a raucous crowd, you have no choice but to respond and have the people go off script and react to the crowd. It creates a real type of interactivity. But when you're doing a Raw in fucking bumblefuck Idaho with everybody fucking sleeping at the event, the WWE is just going to put on their scripted show where nothing deviates. But here you got some good stuff. So, she's basically saying AJ Lee's basically saying nobody could beat her. And then a great fucking moment happens. I can't remember the last time an arena popped for a female wrestler, a female figure like this. Paige's music hits. And if you don't know who Paige is, you know, you have some good stuff to look forward to. Paige is the NXT champion, and by God, could this girl fucking wrestle? What a fucking great glimmer of hope for the Divas division now. Paige makes her Raw debut. What a great fucking theme song. Great look, great gimmick, great wrestling, and fucking finally, finally, the Divas segments might not be a break, might not tempt you to change the channel, because we got some legitimacy for the first time in a long time. So Paige comes out, the crowd goes fucking nuts. She comes out to congratulate AJ Lee. AJ Lee ends up smacking her in the face and says she'll defend her title against her tonight. And they go right into a match. AJ Lee tries to go right into the Black Widow, but Paige counters it and hits her with the Paige Turner. Yeah, they kind of botched it a little, but so what? Gets the count 1, 2, 3, sneaks away with a quick victory, and Paige is the Divas fucking champion. Yes. Great fucking moment. I'm glad they didn't have this be a long match because, save this shit for Extreme Rules. Have an Extreme Women's match. How fucking awesome would that be? Paige versus AJ in an Extreme Rules match for the title. So it looks like that's what we're going to get. Yeah, just awesome. Awesome for once. Serious, legitimate, diva action happening. And, if they could just take away Emma from Goofball Santino, stop dumbing down Emma, and I pray to God they don't dumb down Paige's wrestling abilities like they've done with Emma, because if they just let Emma be herself, we could have a whole new, era of, Trish Lita. This could be the new Trish Lita with Paige and Emma. This really can. These two girls could revolutionize the future of the Divas division and finally give it some legitimacy. I am so excited that Paige is on the Raw roster now and on the main roster. It's going to be fucking fantastic. If you don't know her, have faith, because she is a fucking savior. Then we get Hulk Hogan coming out to reward the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner. Hulk Hogan points out that last night he was at the Superdome. I was saying on Facebook, will Hogan botch or not? Congratulations to Hogan for not botching for the first time since his comeback, for not botching a promo. But wouldn't it be a great gimmick though if now it's his new part of Hogan's gimmick where every time he comes out he mispronounces the name of the arena he is in? I think that would be a pretty cool fucking gimmick. We'll see if they do it. But anyway, he calls out Cesaro, and the crowd is going absolutely berserk for Cesaro. Cesaro has a pretty badass looking Billie Jean jacket on. Looks like $1 million. Hogan gives him the mic. Zeb snatches it from Cesaro and says that he took Cesaro under his wing 9-10 months ago. He wasn't even a real American, and he let him be a Zeb Coulter guy. And then Cesaro takes the mic away and says, I've never been a Zeb Coulter guy. Here we go, groundbreaking news. I'm a Paul Heyman guy. Holy fucking shit. Paul Heyman comes out. The crowd is going fucking berserk. And Jesus Christ, is this a great fucking moment. And Paul Heyman pronounces Cesaro, proclaims Cesaro as the King of Swing. How fucking genius. What a fucking name. The King of Swing. That's fucking money right there. Hopefully they stick with that. They run away with that. Make that his gimmick. The King of Swing. Because that is money right there. So Paul Heyman is managing Antonio Cesaro. Just fucking amazing. Epic. And it's pretty interesting that Paul Heyman is now managing a heel. And after this, Cesaro is, to me, it's obvious that he's a face. He's, working as a face here. The crowd is treating him as a face. So Paul Heyman is managing a heel and a face. Kind of interesting there. But, talk about a way to fucking build up a superstar just like that. Just like that. Cesaro is now, on a fucking rocket to superstardom just from these last 2 nights. Oh man, and if the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal becomes a yearly thing at WrestleMania, I am all for that. It really should be a yearly thing. Now looking back on it, like I said, with this Raw, it made WrestleMania look a lot better, even though it already was good. If, every year, it could be like the new King of the Ring. The new, Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner could be like past King of the Ring winner members who, it's all future top superstars winning, like Owen Hart did, Bret Hart did, just future guys, giving them a legitimate, reputation here by winning this Battle Royal. It'd be a great thing. Maybe you add that down the road they could get a title stipulation for it, but you don't even have to add that. Just the fact that they win it, that they hold the trophy throughout the year, that's a big deal. Just look at what this did to Cesaro. It gives him, gets him so fucking over, gives him a new King of Swing gimmick. It's fucking gold. It really is. And I hope that, Paul Heyman holding the Andre the Giant trophy. Yes, do that throughout the year. Always hold that trophy to make it a known fact that he is the Battle Royal winner. He is the top dog. Then we get an impromptu match between Jack Swagger and Cesaro. It was good for what it was, but the thing about it is the booking was just genius. That's the thing. Throughout the night, the booking was just spot on. They did all the right moves, all the correct moves that they should have done, and it just mind boggles me when I'm watching this. It messes with my mind and confuses me, like how on other nights they just go full fucking retard and do just dumb moves when they could just do genius shit like this. I just don't understand. But yeah, this was a fine match, but it wasn't really a match, and that's how it should have been. It should not have been a just a regular match. There was a nice spot where Cesaro is on the turnbuckle. And I never seen this. We've seen this obviously many times where guys they're both on the turnbuckles and suplexes each other into the ring. But this was a little variation. Cesaro's on the turnbuckle. Jack Swagger's on the ring apron though, not also on the turnbuckle. And Cesaro suplexes him from the ring apron over the turnbuckle into the ring. Just a great fucking powerhouse spot. Cesaro was about to go for the swing. Jack Swagger rolls out of the ring and it's a count out. See, great fucking booking. You don't have a clean finish. Save this. This is a fucking pay-per-view match. This is a match at Extreme Rules. You don't waste it here. Great fucking move by the WWE. Have fans want it. Have fans want to pay for it. Makes sense. And they did this with Paige and AJ Lee. It wasn't a full-on match. It was a 1 minute affair with a kind of a quick finish. So that when we see these matches on Extreme Rules, it's not like, oh, here we go again, deja vu, same old shit. No, we're actually getting the first time these full-on matches. Same, another good booking decision earlier with the tag, the Usos versus Batista and Randy Orton. That didn't have to be a match. It didn't make sense to have a finish to that match. So yeah, great stuff from the WWE tonight. And then you get the main event segment. Triple H is backstage. Oh, not Triple H. Stephanie McMahon is backstage with Kane and the Shield, and she tells the Shield to do the Authority's work and to take out Daniel Bryan, and they tell her they understand. So it looks like they're gonna listen and obey the Authority. We get to the main event segment. Daniel Bryan comes out for his match with Triple H, but instead of Triple H coming out, Randy Orton and Batista come out. Daniel Bryan gets hit with an RKO and a Batista bomb, I believe. Then Kane comes out. I believe he chokeslammed Daniel Bryan. Triple H comes out. Looks like he's gonna steal the title away. I would have flipped out if they gave Triple H the title right there. But lo and behold, no need to worry. The Shield's music hits. Everybody goes berserk. The Shield, gathers around the ring, line up around the ring like they always do. And on one side of the ring, you have the Shield. On the other side of the ring, you have Kane and Batista and Randy Orton, and Triple H is in the middle trying to stop a war from happening. And they all guys get in the ring. They're staring each other down. Triple H is trying to mediate between the two. He turns around and Roman Reigns, bam, hits Triple H with a spear, and all chaos ensues. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins launched themselves on outside to Batista and Randy Orton. Roman Reigns hits Kane with a Superman punch. And then, but Triple H is left in the ring alone. The Shield is crowding around him. They're about to fucking, beat the shit out of him. But then they move away. Triple H gets up and Daniel Bryan hits him with the flying knee. And the crowd goes crazy, and Raw ends with Daniel Bryan chanting yes and Shield in the ring, standing dominant as pure 100% faces. So it looks like as a main event of Extreme Rules, possibly it will be the Shield and Daniel Bryan versus Triple H, Randy Orton, Batista, and Kane. The Shield and Daniel Bryan versus the Authority. And, this would be great. Like I said, if they have Randy Orton and Batista and Triple H have an Evolution 2.0 thing, I guess with Kane there too. Not to have a reign of terror and dominate all, but to make the new guys look good. Make people like the Shield get put over. Make people like Daniel Bryan get put over. You need that, villainous opposition force to, give the faces obstacles, to get behind the faces, to give you something to cheer for the faces, to watch them overcome it. It makes fucking perfect sense. It really does. And the thing about this night, it really, for the first time, it full on felt like we were getting a change of the guard. We were getting a passing of the torch. No longer were guys, the same old guys just standing around doing a do-si-do in the top spots. No longer does it look like that. It now looks like these top guys who have been there forever are now finally starting to step down to push the new guys, to help the new guys get over like they should have 5 fucking years ago. But it looks like they're finally doing it. The Daniel Bryan and Shield looked dominant tonight. The Wyatt family beating John Cena, Sheamus, and Biggie Langston looked dominant tonight. Look at what they did with Cesaro, bringing in Paige. All these great fucking things. Just awesome. Awesome show. And it really looks like WWE might finally think about committing to working with the new guard. I have no problem with the old guys being there if they're there to put over the new guys. I'm sure John Cena will still get, main events, matches at pay-per-views, but it looks like they're finally starting to take some steps back. John Cena is not in a main event feud right now. He was, in the first 30 minutes of Raw, in that portion, and that was it. So, if this Raw is the way the WWE is going, and it looks like this is the way they're going, and this is all positive shit, this is all a good road to go down, this WrestleMania and this Raw will be a huge milestone for the company. This will, predict and pave the way for their future. Like I said, WrestleMania 30 will go down as one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time. And if not for anything, because it looks like it's the WrestleMania that pushed us into this new era that we've been craving for so long. Things are looking up for the first time in a long time. So there you go. There's my review of Raw. Loved it. Phenomenal. Amazing. Perfect. Everything had a purpose. Everything had a fucking reason. Everything went somewhere. Nothing was just stagnant and, in a standstill. Everything went along somewhere. Everything was pushed somewhere, not in a stupid direction, in the most right direction you could possibly go in. So there you go. Love the show. Hope WWE keeps up going this way. As always, I'm Jay Shady, the voice of reason. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later.